Hi, Thor. 3. Let's get into murder.
Welcome back to 8-Bit Entertainment. I'm Captain Paul. That's Fajardo, and that's Smokes McGee down there, Goon the Bearded. What's going on there, brother?
What's going on, folks?
So, taking it puff, puff, pass, but pass to the next person there. But when it kind of comes down to it, we're going to be entering Weeb mode here, inspired by Fajardo. Why don't you explain this clip for us?
Weeb mode, this guy. Well, I know you guys are anime fans undercover. You guys haven't really kept up with a lot of stuff. But there was something that really bothered me that you guys haven't seen, like the Tournament of Power. Anybody who knows anything about Dragon Ball Z Super knows that this Tournament of Power was crazy. There was a lot of good fights. But there was one in particular moment that really, I think it shocked the world. Like, when it came out, everybody was like, oh my god, this is crazy, right? And it was a battle between Kefla, who was a mixture of Kale and Kefla put together or something like that, right? And Goku, when he was in Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct, for those that don't know, is like a god level, angel level type of mastery of just being very instinctive and not really trying to let your mind cloud your movement, just being able to react and stuff like that. So in this portion of Dragon Ball Z, he really hadn't mastered it yet, and he's in the big fight where it was nearing the point where he wouldn't be able to hold anymore. He knew he had to kind of finish the fight. So that's where this clip is going to start, and we can just go right into it.
We can go right into it? All right, well, let's get right into it. We're going to be, like I said, Weeb mode activated.
Yes, sir.
So, let's get into it. We're going to get copyright on this one.
Even higher now!
If that's what you want, then I'm gonna throw everything I've got into this next attack!
I have to ask this really quick.
Yeah.
What do you think of the animation when it comes to Super? Because I know some people said it was very bad in the beginning. Like, the thing is, full transparent, I didn't watch the beginning of Super, but I couldn't get through it. I felt it was too much filler in the beginning of it.
Yeah, it was.
And so, I just kind of, got turned off by it. It was just way too slice of life stuff, which I'm not looking for Dragon Ball. The animation was kind of inconsistent, too, at times. What do you think of the animation of the Super series? Especially in this fight.
Well, as it got into the tournament, I think that the animation was good, but what I like about Dragon Ball Z is, they've kept a very consistent level of animation throughout the time. It's gotten a little bit cleaner, but they haven't gotten it so clean where it looks like completely different. They still kind of held on to the roots a little bit, so it makes it makes it familiar, and it keeps people engaged that you're still watching the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You're still watching along the same storyline. And I personally like it. I watch Dragon Ball Z all the time. I believe there's another portion coming out I'm trying to get into. Dragon Ball Super. I think it continues. It's like the next chapter kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Let's keep going.
It looks so beautiful! She's shiny like a star!
Oh, yeah!
Alright, pause it right here. So, I want you guys to know, those two other guys, those are the Grand Zenos. Technically, they're the gods of everything. All the universes and everything, whatnot. But, you see them and they're, straight kids. Everything they do, they react just like a kid would. And it just adds, an extra, haha to the whole series as you're watching, because they're watching it almost like you are, and they're saying the same things that you would say. So yeah. it makes it really funny when you hear them say it. It's freaking hilarious.
They did that shit with Emperor Pilaf and
Yeah.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Goku was dead. So yeah, I like that shit.
Who is that?
Kefla's energy is radiating outward in every direction as highly concentrated rays like laser beams. Most uncanny. One might say she's literally become the ultimate weapon.
I may not know what's going on, but I do know I like it!
Goku's threat making her think she either had to win now or risk losing the tournament, she found an even greater extreme of power.
There is no such conquering weapon as the necessity of conquering.
See you in
Looks bad. If one of those rays hits Goku head on, it could be the end for him. That's so much energy. Is she planning to burn through all she's got left to knock him out?
I hope you boys are ready. The man is dodging everything.
Not bad, but you can't dodge in midair! Game over, Goku! Now you're
Bro.
Got her.
Oh, straight to the face. Bro.
Damn.
Bro. That right there. Woo.
I do.
Cauliflower!
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a abrupt. That's a abrupt end to it, but yeah, that was actually nice
Bro.
little build up, nice little fight. I wasn't expecting him to parkour over that, but
Bro, my man used his Kamehameha wave to bounce off of her attack, and then my man smacked her with it.
yeah.
Oh,
It does.
man.
Dude, I was enjoying, man. I didn't even stop. I was just enjoying that 'cause I haven't seen a Dragon Ball in a little bit, so that was kind of
Wow.
that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So Goon, go ahead, since you've watched throughout the times. How do you feel about that clip?
Yeah, it was cool. Like to your earlier point, like with the animations and shit, like they have to keep it somewhat original, right? You have to be able to relate back to how it was when it started, blah blah blah. So like to some aspect, like you can't improve it too much, or else it's not going to be the same fucking show. But it's cool, yeah, man. That was a cool fight scene. I don't know who.
How would you rate
who
it?
was fighting, but I guess like an 8. I don't know how to rate something like that. Like
It's
cool
a fight
scene,
scene.
but,
How would you rate a fight scene? You've seen other Dragon Ball fights, so compared to all the other Dragon Ball
really
fights,
short too. You know what I'm saying? Like some of those fights like drag out through like a couple.
Well, this is
episodes, like shit.
yeah.
So, like,
Well,
it's very
this
short
is
clip.
this was a fight that dragged out throughout 3 episodes, but that was like the end tail of that whole thing because. So as you saw, right, the earrings broke on the one girl, and then they split up to 2 to Kale and Khalifa. Those earrings are called Patara earrings, and when 2 different fighters put them on, on a different ears, they end up combining and become a whole different entity that has its own identity, right? So, Khalifa was a combination of those two girls, and they were also Saiyans from a different universe, and they were fighting each other in this tournament of power, which was basically the team that ended winning the tournament. Their universe would survive, while all the other universes get completely erased by the Xenos. So that was like the whole build up. So once again, what was your rating, Goon?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll come down to a 7 then.
Okay. Okay.
All right, you want me to go first? Or you want PG?
Yeah, you can go. You already know where I'm going with this.
I'll give it a 5.
Oh, 5.
I mean, listen, I watched Dragon Ball, watched Dragon Ball Z. I even watched throughout the whole Boo arc and all that, which a lot of people. I even watched Dragon Ball GT.
I didn't. I started watching it. It was trash. In my opinion.
It was absolutely trash. But I think one of the things that is I'm actually a big Dragon Ball fan, and I've kind of watched Super. I watched it through the Zamasu arc as well, with Future Trunks and stuff like that. I watched a little bit of that. That kind of piqued my interest. But I think it's a 5. I don't think it's anything super crazy. For me, 5's average. That's an average ending to a fight scene. There's so many iconic fight scenes when it comes to Dragon Ball. I mean, just think about it. With Frieza, with Cell. I mean, there's so many different ways that you could rate it. But for me, I'd say it's a 5. It's not bad at all. It's just I think the fighting after this with Hitman, I think it was.
No, so what you're thinking about is actually well prior to the tournament even starting. It was like a pre-tournament type of thing.
Oh, okay.
That's where they really fought Hit, because during this tournament, a whole different thing happened, and they were actually almost more like allies. They never really went at each other. Just the Saiyans kind of went at each other. Well, these two, Kale and Khalifa, they kind of went at Goku because they want to be, Khalifa was one of those Saiyans that wanted to be the best kind of thing or whatever, and she wanted to show that she has the power. She always just strived to be better, and she knew that she wasn't at Goku's level, so she was trying to get there. And at this point, Goku had just finished trying to recover from a fight, so he was extremely weak, and he was getting, little by little, he gradually got back up to the point where he ended up getting to Ultra Instinct. And they ended up having to, they had gotten with the Patara earrings and became a stronger entity. So that fight at that point was at its highest level. That was the peak. And it came down to the end.
Yeah, see, I feel like I'd be able to give it a higher rating if I had watched that series or that fight in particular, and I had all the context, and I was knee deep into the show at the time. I feel like I'd be able to rate it a little bit higher, but without just seeing that small clip, without having the full context and being into the show, it's hard.
So what you're saying is we're gonna start watching this? All right, say less. That's cool with me.
I mean, as long as it's not an hour and 40-minute episode.
No, the episode.
In the 80s, Street Fighter.
No, that wasn't an episode. That was a whole movie, bro.
It really was.
Well, obviously, for me, it's gonna be a 10, right? Because that fight was the juncture of that fight was such a key element to how Goku was raising his level of fighting. Because technically, when people use the Patara earrings, not only do the two fighters' powers merge, it actually amplifies by 10 times or even more greater than what the originals are. And one of the two girls that combined is actually the legendary Super Saiyan from that universe. So he was fighting legendary Super Saiyan and a very high skilled Super Saiyan combined into one. So his level of fighting had to increase to the point where he had to use Ultra Instinct and really, do everything he could to win. And that just, you guys know that as Saiyans fight every time they fight, and then they start recovering, their power levels go up, right? So for him, he had just had a huge fight. Now he's fighting these girls, but his power level's going up, and as you see him slowly transition from regular to Super Saiyan 2, even to Super Saiyan 3 for a second, but then he goes to Super Saiyan Blue, and then he hits Ultra Instinct. His level of fighting just increased dramatically throughout this, throughout not only this fight, but throughout this Dragon Ball Z Super. In order for him to be able to fight the main guy that he had to fight in this tournament, who's called Jiren, and we'll get to that. We're definitely gonna do some other videos where we watch all the different fights in the tournament going up to that point.
All right. I mean, so what's your rating though?
10.
All right.
10.
All right.
Yeah.
So what was it called when they made Go Trunks? When they did this?
Oh, that was during the Majin Buu. That was during the that's a fusion. That's fusion. So when they do the thing, that's fusion, and when they do the Patara, that's just they just merge.
All right, so we would like you to merge into our audience and subscribe. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts down below. What would you rate this fight? How did you think it went? What is your favorite iteration of Dragon Ball? Is it Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT? If you're an oddball, be very interested to know your thoughts down below. I'm Captain Paul. That's Fajardo, and that's Goon the Bearded. We're 8-Bit Critique, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.